Welcome to 𝐄𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐂𝐄𝐑𝐄𝐂 we talk about investing, finance, and professional development. So current time of 8:15 a.m. on Eastern Time on July 10th on Sunday. Ethereum country at $1,185, that about 2.52% so far. Respect over crypto market on this Sunday morning so far. Across the board, we are relatively down. If you spread that out on average, down about 2% so far. And on the media expectation front, I would say there isn't anything that is relatively new in terms of developments. Obviously, the main ones that we need to know in the last, I would say, 48 to 56 hours so far is mainly due to the regurgitation, around the job numbers that came out, the transcript from the June FOMC meeting, the foreshadow on the upcoming hot press report, with respect to the consumer inflation data, the CPI report that's coming out expectedly on Wednesday, on the 13th of July. And obviously with the, global catalyst, which with respect to the former prime minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, assassinated, which was, definitely, a depressing news, not just for the country, but in Japan, but globally, knowing the fact that he was such a reputable and well-respected leader. So it is definitely, not ideal. And with respect to the CPI report that's coming out on Wednesday, what are the things that we need to really watch out for, right? I think ultimately this is going to be a seismic report that's going to basically either drive the course of the momentum of the market upward or downward going forward. And it's going to be, an elongated driver onto the subsequent factor with respect to the FOMC meeting that will be happening basically about a week and a half, approximately like a week after the CPI report release on the July FOMC meeting, right? And what's the numbers that we need to watch out for, right? So with respect to the June consumer price index, it's gonna be expected to show a headline inflation if you're including food and energy costs, right, rising above the May's number of 8.6% level. So that's something we have to look at, compared to the Wall Street guidance, which is 8.6% above, right? And with respect to these streets, which is, on the, corporate company side of the house, and with respect to some of the things that we need to watch out for, that, in the near future on the earnings reports would be revenue growth, margin compressions, and how are the Wall Street analysts going to be leaving their estimates, as we learn more, right? Are we going to see more readjustments, or are we going to stay flat, or are we going to be tweaking it upward from here, right? Because these are all going to be, subsequent, basically causation effects onto what Jerome is going to be doing, knowing the fact that, the approach that he's been performing so far has been relatively reactive, right? So if we were to see, I would say, if you count your fingers, right, I think it's like basically 2 to 3 factors that needs to align, right? The CPI report has to align, Wall Street guidance has to align, and with respect to corporate companies, with respect to their earnings have to be aligned for Jerome to be aligned, combined with the job numbers, for the FOMC meeting to not tweak the number, which we had prior to 75 basis point, to another 75 basis point. What we hope is to tweak that to 50 basis point and, get a relatively optimistic type of verbiage from him, from the meeting, showing that, the rate hikes from the previous one, despite it was aggressive, but it actually worked. So seems like the inflationary pressure is being well compressed, right? Which I foresee that's what's going to be happening. And as that happens, as we have talked about in the technical, that on the daily front, right, let's just dive right into it, it's quite negative, right? You could see that clearly we are getting blocked every single time we get to 1250, right? And the reason is because, we have been dragging up for quite some time. if you look at it, like if I'm like pulling the, you could see that with golden cross, right? So that's why we've been levitating, right? And as we reach above the first level of basically 1150, obviously you broke above 1050 to the next level of 1250. You now are forming some sort of apex, right? The peak of the mountain, right? And with respect to the inertia on the RSI, you could see that clearly we got blocked every single time we try to get above 50. Not even like 48.5, right? And as you get rejected, you're gonna come down naturally. And I think right now the RSI is negative, MACD is negative. Obviously the technical, you're levitating between levels, so you're likely gonna be coming down. And the CPI report is coming out, so I do foresee some sort of anticipatory pressure happening as the market open tomorrow. And it wouldn't be surprising to me if we're gonna see some selling pressure in the first half of the, basically 48 hours before the 13th, which is a CPI number. And after that, if the CPI number comes out to be negative, like, oh, God knows what's gonna happen. And I think, if it's negative, then you're gonna have a quite elongated type of water torture, a slow bleed, if you may, that will drag it up all the way to the FOMC meeting, which is I don't know. That's gonna be quite scary for me, to be honest, because the timing of separation between those dates are quite vast, and people are gonna emotionally do the irrational decisions, driving more stir into the market, and combined with the light the fire from the media, that doesn't convey a lot of confidence, isn't it, right? Bitcoin is at 21,500 basically, so same thing, right? Lack of inertia on the RSI, relatively forming apex already, so ideally selling back down, breaking below 20,000 to 18,500, 17,500, even breaking 17,000, sorry, would be very logical from here. And across all the other altcoin, I would say they're all similar. Obviously, some altcoin, depending on their MACD and the RSI, I would say still bearish. You can see that how many, we're forming an M, right? So means that every single time you reach a certain level, you get crossed down. And I would say that's applicable to multiple coins, right? Just checking, right? Solana, yes. XRP, yes. Polkadot, yes. Right? Algorand, yes. All rejected. Shiba Inu, yes. Right? MACTEC, yes. AVAX, yes. And Terra, even. Terra is dead, so nothing to really talk about there. But pretty depressing, I would say, in the near term, right? But as we get over that, we should ideally, again, right, on the weekly front, cross up and then have some bullish reversal, knowing the fact that we're quite depleted, and also on the monthly as well, very separated. So ideally, form a valley would be very possible. Okay. So those are the marching orders that we have, right? It's quite negative across the spectrum. Again, short-term wise, but as we get over this hump, we should be fine. Okay. So let's just pray that CPI report coming out will be positive, and then that should technically drive some nice pressure, on the price appreciation front. All right. Have a good day, and I'll check you on the next one. Take care.